Hi guys, in this session we're going to see the story The Ship of the Desert. This story is a conversation between the lion and the camel. We all know that who's the ship of the desert? It's none other than the camel. First, this lion is beginning the conversation. This lion was asking to this camel, "Who are you?" Now, camel was introducing himself as he was the ship of the desert. And in return, camel was asking, "Who are you?" to lion. And lion was giving the answer, "Don't you know me? I'm the king of the forest." So once this camel said he was the ship of the desert, now lion was telling, "I am the king of the forest." Then this camel was admiring, "Are you? Oh, I see." Then the lion was frowning at this camel and asking, "You are calling yourself as the ship of the desert, but how can you be a ship? You are an animal, right?" So he was asking a funny question to camel. Then he was giving the answer. He was beginning to give one by one all about his strength. He was sharing about his strengths. The first one is, he was accepting, of course, he was an animal, but people call him a ship of the desert. He was telling that, "But people call me the ship of the desert. I can walk across the desert even on a hot afternoon. The sand burns, but it doesn't bother me." The first strength of this camel is, even in the hot afternoon, throughout the desert, he will be able to walk casually. The hard sand can't do anything to his feet. Then lion was telling, "I can't believe it." Then camel is asking a question, "Can you walk across the desert?" Immediately lion was telling, "No, I can't, but I can run in the forest." Then camel was giving a funny answer, "Every animal can do that. I alone can run on sand. I can run on sand at 25 kilometers an hour." So this camel was telling, "Every animal can run in the forest casually, but I alone can run especially on the sand, on that hard sand in the desert. And not only that, within an hour he can run 25 kilometers." Then lion was wondering at camel and asking, "How can you do that?" Then camel is telling, "Look at my feet. They are thick and padded. The hard sun does not burn them." So his thick legs are safeguarding him from the hard sand. His body was being accommodated with that weather condition. He was able to withstand all those heat and that weather condition. Then lion was telling, "My feet are padded too. Thorns don't prick them, and I can run 80 kilometers an hour." Now lion started to tell about his strength. He was telling, "Even my feet also padded, especially thorns don't prick them, and I can run 80 kilometers within an hour." Then camel was telling, "Of course that is true. You can run 80 kilometers an hour in the forest, but can you run even a mile on the hard sand?" So he was cross questioning. Camel was asking, "You can run in the forest, but can you do the same in the desert?" Lion was telling, "Maybe not." But then immediately Camel interrupted this lion and telling, "And you can't live without water for a week, can you?" Then lion is telling the answer, "No, I can't. I need water every day. But don't tell me you can do without water." So lion was telling, "Of course I can't live without water. In the same way, you also can't live without water." Then camel was telling, "Yes, I can. There are no rivers or lakes in a desert, but that does not bother me. I can drink 200 bottles of water at a time." Now, camel was telling about his strength. He was able to live without water even more than a week because he was able to take 200 bottles of water at a time. Once when he was drinking water, he was able to store all those water in his body. He was able to drink all the water together. Then lion was wondering, "Really, you must have a big stomach." Then camel was telling, "Yes, I have a big stomach. I can store water for a week. I can store food for 2 weeks even." Now camel was telling he was able to store water for 1 week and he was able to store food for 2 weeks. Now, lion was showing a lot of interest towards this camel to know more about him, and he was asking, "Do you store food in your stomach?" Then camel was telling, "No, I don't. I store it in my hump. I eat a lot of food at one time. Then I don't need to eat for a fortnight." So this camel was telling, "I don't store the food in stomach. Instead, I store it in my hump." Do you know what is hump? Hump is situated at the back of the camel. Then lion was telling, "That's interesting, but what do you eat?" Now camel was telling, "I eat leaves, but there are no trees in a desert." Of course, we all know that in desert rarely we find plants. There will not be any trees. Then lion was asking curiously, "What do you eat there?" Then camel was telling, "There are thorny bushes in the desert. I eat the thorns. The thorns don't prick my thick tongue." Even the tongue of the camel was also like very thick in order to accompany with that situation of that weather condition, because when it is eating the thorny bushes, the thorns are not pricking its thick tongue. Now lion was telling, "How funny." Then camel is telling, "Mr. King of the forest, please come with me to the desert." Now this camel was inviting this lion to come to the desert with him. Now lion was telling, "No, I would better not. I can't walk on burning sand. I can't store food and water, and I can't eat thorns. Goodbye and good luck, Mr. Ship of the desert." Now this lion was telling, "No, I can't. I can't store food. I can't store water, and I can't even eat the thorns." So he was giving goodbye to this camel, and he was getting away. He was escaping from that place. It was a funny conversation between lion and the camel. But still, though it was funny, the things which are all shared by them are true. I hope you could have understood the story. Stay connected with our channel for further videos.